guys, back at you with another video. If I don't seem like myself in this video, it's because I have a lot of things going on internally, like, just my anxiety is clear out of the fucking roof today, because my mom's in surgery. And yeah, I still have to go to school. I know what type of bullshit that is, but, like, that's what they said. Yeah. So if I seem kind of off in this video, yeah, and if you hear the dripping water in the background, I have my cousin over and they're filling a cup of water just by fucking dripping. I don't know, they're being stupid and weird. Whatever. It's not important. Anyways, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about, the time that I broke my wrist at, the fair that I was at. Yeah, let's get to that then. So this is probably, like, 3 years ago, I think. I was with my cousin, and we were just going around having fun, like, chilling, and, hanging out, and generally just being the teenagers that we were. And we'd gone on, like, this ride multiple times that night, and I don't really know what was different this time. But it was getting towards the end of the night, and so, like, kids were trying to hit as many rides as they could before, like, they shut it down and everything. And so me and my cousin decided to go on this one ride where, like, it spins and the seats slide up. Yeah. And we went on it 2 times, and I was fine. But the 3rd time when we were on it, I had my arms, up like this, because that's what you're supposed to do. Or, no, they were down by my sides at first, and I made sure, like, they were completely under the railing so no fingies got smashed. And then I moved them up here. When we got out, or when I put my hand up, the gravity just, like, smashed my hand to the back, which is my fault. It's not on the ride's, like, operator's fault, because it goes fast, and if you try and move body parts, they do just, like, slam into things really fast, because, like, of the gravitational force, because it's going like this. Like, really, really fast. Well, yeah, I went to put my hands up like this, and my wrist smacked, onto the backing that, like, slides up and down. And, well, my wrist smacked, and I got out, and I was like, man, my wrist really hurts. But, like, it didn't feel broke or anything. I thought, I just might have bruised it or whatever. And so we went on to another ride. This was one of those, like, spooky bouncy house things. It wasn't really a ride, it was more of an activity thing to do, but it, like, your wristband covered it. And so there's this thing where you, like, have to climb through, and I, like, went to pull myself through, and I felt my wrist crack, and I was like, well, what the fuck? Like, maybe my wrist just popped, maybe I, like, fucked up something last time, and, like, my wrist is just fixing itself. Well, that happened, and, it really, really started to hurt. Like, I was almost in tears from pain. My cousin was like, are you good? Like, do you want to stop for the night and go get your mom and dad and just, like, tell them, like, hey, I fucked up my wrist, I'm gonna go to the hospital, get this checked out. And I was like, no, it's fine, let's keep going, you know, enjoy the night while it lasts. Fuck it, you only live once, type deal. We kept going, and we probably went on, like, 4 or 5 rides, and we were one of the last rides we went on was, the Zipper, which is, like, it's, like, a tall thing that's, like, this, it's really long, and you've got carts that, like, flip, and it goes around in a circle, kind of like Ferris wheel or deal, except the seats are flipping and you're all caged in and stuff. Well, in this, you have to hold on to these metal bars, and so I was holding on to these bars. I didn't like this ride, by the way. I did end up getting sick, like, physically sick, because of this ride, but that's a different story from a different time. Yeah. I was holding on to this because my cousin was like, hey, I really want to go on this ride, and I was like, okay, you know, whatever. And so I was on it, and I was holding on to it, and, your arms move and like you shift a little bit because it's flipping constantly. And well, I went forward and my like chest up here like went into my wrist like that. Except I'm holding on, I'm like, yeah. Force, and I was like, damn, that really hurts. And so when that was done, we like finally went on our last ride, which was the carousel and then the Ferris wheel, just kind of like do a calm ordeal and wrap things up. And we went back, and I was like, Mom, I think I fucked up my wrist, it hurts. She's like, alright, we'll go get it checked out tomorrow if it still hurts. Well, I went to bed and I woke up at like 7 a.m., which is early for me. And I was just crying because my wrist hurt so bad. And so we went to the hospital that day, like my mom promised. After like being in excruciating pain for like an hour. And like they were like, oh, it's just a fracture. So I was like, okay, you know, whatever. So we went and bought one of those like cheap ass things from Walmart that just keeps your wrist in place and you don't move it around like when it happens you get sprained and shit. So I was like, alright, whatever. I fucked up my wrist a little bit. Okay. Life still goes on. And then it was like 2 weeks later, my wrist was still really fucking hurting. And so my mom was like, well, let's go back and let's get you checked out. And so we did. They did x-rays, and my bone here, like, my boning, like, here and here had both, like, cracked. And so it wasn't fully broke. It was cracked and, like, was starting to, like, kind of shift over. So the doctor's like, damn, why didn't you come in sooner? And I was like, I did. I came in 2 weeks ago. But they were like, oh, it's just a fracture. You're fine. And so they put, like, on a real cast for about 2 weeks, I think. And then, they took it off because my bones had, like, shifted back in place, and they didn't want a lot of pressure on, like, the sides, and that's where a lot of pressure felt like it was. I don't really know if that's where it was, because I'm not a doctor. But they didn't want a whole bunch of pressure on it, because the bones were, like, starting to heal on their own with how they were in the first place, because in 2 weeks, within that, like, almost month period, things had started to kind of fix themselves, but not fully, and so the doctors were like, well, we're gonna give you this to keep it in place and, like, have a brace, which came in handy 2 weeks ago, and they were like, oh, it's fine, it's just a fracture. So I had this brace on for, like, a little over a month, and, yeah, now my hand's fine, as you can tell, but, yeah, that happened. I don't know, honestly, might have been the rotating thing that I honestly really fucked it up on, that I might have, like, literally just been bruising then. Or, like, something might have been like, ha, chip. But I'm amazed I didn't really notice it sooner, because, like, I'm not the best to pain always. It hurts, but, like, it's not a big deal. And, yeah, that really fucked it up for a while. But, yeah, that's my story time. I love you guys very much. I'm gonna try and upload 2 times this week, but if I don't get it, I'm sorry. Saturday nights might kind of get fucked up because my race season's starting. I gotta work on my car and shit. So, yeah. Bye.